So bottom surgery was a year ago. That's kind of wild. Now, this will be the last video about bottom surgery for a little while, I promise. I know I've milked this a little bit, however, understandably, this is a life-changing experience. So, this video will detail how I feel about bottom surgery a year in. I'm happy to report that since getting bottom surgery, I've experienced no complications, no pains, and no needs for revisions. It's worth saying that the chance of complications with zero depth is lower because one, it's like a way less complicated surgery in comparison, and B, they surgically operate on you for literally half the time, so there's less room for error, right? It's just generally how it's gonna work. You can still get complications of zero depth, don't get me wrong, lovely audience. However, the likelihood is significantly lower, and I think that's worth keeping in mind when tossing up what kind of surgery you want to do. Because this is my main concern going into surgery, I want to highlight this first. What I can do physically post-op, right? Whether I'm physically limited in my movements or that kind of thing. I'm also happy to report I am actually stronger and more healthy than I was before surgery. I haven't just gotten back to my physical form before surgery, I've surpassed it. As an example, I recently took up breakdancing. Here's some footage of me breakdancing. I couldn't do any of that before surgery. Well, I could when I was 10, but I was 10, I weighed a lot less. Point is, despite having a major surgery on my body, I was able to take up breakdancing with no injuries related to that area at any point in the journey of me starting to get into breakdancing till now, right? My strength has improved as a result, and thus I've learned to breakdance reasonably well. I hope that example shows that you can have a successful recovery. It's not as clickbaity if you have a super successful recovery and nothing bad happens. But sorry, algorithm, I had an alright recovery. Since getting surgery, I have swam in pools, I've gone down water slides, I've learned to breakdance, and I have done various VR stunts for the sake of your amusement, which usually involves me falling on the ground. So I hope that demonstrates that despite having a major surgery on my body, life's back to normal. I can do all the things I could before. And in some cases, I can do it better. It's not all sunshine and rainbows though. I'll highlight my main negative pet peeve with my post-op life. So when you have a you can stand up and pee. However, I can no longer do that. That is my main negative of getting surgery. I kind of liked being able to stand up and pee, lovely audience. So now when I go to the bathroom, I have to sit down. Now, when I sit down post-op at the start of recovery, I'd feel these kind of almost farts from the front, and those were very trippy. When I first had them, I thought my body was like experiencing injury or something blood related. No, if you have a hole at the front of your body, it can also make air go out of it. And it's gonna feel a little funny when it happens. So I've gotten a lot better at aiming, so to speak. I've been grinding aim labs, lovely audience, to make sure that I can make sure I get pee into the toilet without hitting the side of my leg and causing a burning sensation. Unfortunately, if you hit the side of your leg enough, you get a burning sensation. Yeah, that's gross. I don't want to not mention this because then it wouldn't be very transparent, would it? It didn't feel good. Once you're far enough post-op though, you actually kind of forget what having even felt like. A lot of videos I've seen describe this phantom sensation of feeling like you have it, but you don't. Like, yeah, the first month or so, it kind of went away really fast. I've already forgotten what it feels like, and that's a good thing because I remember it not feeling nice when I woke up in the morning and suddenly it was as solid as a rock. So you might have heard of this thing called post-op depression. There's a couple of Reddit threads and other various forum posts about this. What post-op depression is a tendency for us to feel very not great after a, major procedure, right? I'll pull away the curtain just for a little bit, lovely audience, and be transparent with you. I did experience this. It was pretty rough, actually. I think when you do a surgery, you process what permanence is. When you have a surgery like this, you've done something so permanent, you have it for the rest of your life. You get a bit scared, existential, that kind of thing. And I think the thing that helped me was focus on the things that brought me joy and do my best to move forward. I think it's a tough moment, and when you hit it, you'll figure it out after a little bit what it is. But I think your emotions get heightened, you feel a bit vulnerable, especially as you've sat in a bed for who knows how long recovering. Chances are you had time to think about things. And thinking is scary, especially if you have nothing to distract yourself with. And as a result, post-op depression was scary. There's no sugarcoating it. I think this is the greatest negative of it. However, understand that this happens to people that both don't regret it and do regret it. It's not a thing unique to how you feel about the surgery itself. Understand that if you're going through this, it's a natural part of things. If you have a surgery, it does a toll on you. It's a surgery. You literally sat on a bed and a bunch of people surgically operated on you for several hours. It does something to you. So just understand that it's not a reflection of whether you are or are not trans enough or whatever, and it's not a reflection of how well you're doing mental health-wise. It's just a thing that you can experience. This is part of why they make sure you're in a good mental health state before you do a procedure like this. Because if you didn't, it'd be quite devastating. It's for your own safety. You gotta make sure you're in the right mindset when doing it so that it goes smooth after that. Just understand that, and if you do experience a post-op depression, which some do, some don't, understand that it does pass. The length of it will vary from person to person. Anecdotally, it seems like full dev people, it lasts a little longer. It's a more intensive surgery, fair enough. Zero dev people, we tend to be all right after a while, but just understand that it still hits. Mine lasted for about a month and a half. It was definitely my lowest point, and it was rather difficult making super positive videos during that time. Maybe it was noticeable, maybe it wasn't. So understand that it's a part of the process, but it doesn't define you. When I recovered, I was in a bed watching so much Netflix. I've watched more Netflix on that hospital bed than I did my entire life, and I'm gonna keep it that way. Honestly, after the whole experience, I have watched less streaming service stuff. I've personally canceled all my streaming subscriptions. Did Netflix hear me? The only subscriptions I pay is VR Chat Plus and YouTube Premium, because I'm a sucker. So I spoke about this in the last bottom surgery video, like one of the 5 of them I've done at this point. But point is, one of the main things I feared was losing my sense of transness after doing this whole, surgery thing. And that can sound a little funny. It's hard to explain, but I think I found a lot of empowerment and confidence in the fact that I was presenting as a cute girl, but I happened to have a doodle. I think that gave me a sense of power and strength. However, now that that's gone, that feels strange. As I'm saying, a lot of trans culture and media sometimes centers around this for the sake of humor or relatability, that kind of thing. So you can feel a little separated and sectioned off from everyone. And I don't like that. I'm very much a trans woman. I'm always a trans woman. I like being a trans woman. I don't really want to become cis woman. You know what I mean? Surgery doesn't do that. It never will. But I think I feel a little sectioned off, I guess, from trans culture a little bit. And I'm doing my best to approach it and make sure that I don't drift away from it. A good way I do that is, videos where I talk about trans stuff, right? Also stuff like making a short film I recently did centering around trans experience, and I want to do more about it. Also, I kind of have a weird sense of nostalgia for when I was early in transition and dressed up in cute wigs, makeup, and went to the shop and was all sneaky. I think there's a sense of nostalgia for that. I think I'll do a full video about that feeling of maintaining one's transness post-op, I guess. I don't know how to articulate it, and I want to make sure I make a full video fully making those thoughts make sense. But perhaps maybe I'm not as cleanly on the gender binary as I expected. Don't know what that says about me, but I don't know. I think I liked being a quirky person that was assigned male at birth but presenting hyper femme. I like that. I find like swapping to the old voice for the sake of comedic effect really amusing. And gives me a lot of feeling of confidence. So I don't know what that says about me. Let's move to the next section. The following section is going to explain not safe for work topics in a family-friendly manner. However, for the sake of clarity, if you're not interested in this part of the video, feel free to skip to this time here. As a recap from last time, getting to the credits, so to speak, was a little difficult. However, now I can say happily that when I sit down to indulge, it's a lot easier to hit the credits, so to speak. My interests haven't changed too much, but I have noticed that anecdotally, I seem to be significantly more drawn to inspirational content featuring men. Big muscles, that sort of deal. I don't think that's related to bottom surgery itself. I think it's more related to me feeling more comfortable indulging in what I like. Because I can't insert things, I have to be creative, right? You can hit the credits by doing basically stimulation to your lower regions, the outer shell of it, so to speak, the outer section, referred to as the clitoris. I can play around with that and it's pretty easy to do so. However, it's not as easy to indulge as it was when I had the it was easier to crank it. As a result, I found I have to put a bit more force than I was expecting when doing this kind of motion, right? A lot more force than I was expecting. I think because it was like a new surgical thing, I didn't want to like be like too rough or anything, but now it's like, it's pretty normal now. I feel like I can just kind of go for it, and usually it feels pretty nice. It kind of depends. I find when I indulge in certain types of inspirational content, I find the result feels good, and other times it will feel too quick and kind of disappointing. So long drawn out ones feel nice. Really quick ones feel terrible. But I think those nerves have reconnected pretty successfully and it can now be stimulated. Long term, I will be experimenting with other ways to indulge. But in the meantime, it's pretty good. Nothing crazy. I still have fun. But random YouTuber, does it look real? Yeah, actually. Yeah, no scarrings there. It looks pretty legit. Not that I've really stared at that many, other than my own. But based on pictures that I can find and that kind of thing, yeah, it looks pretty legit. I feel confident that like people in a indulgent situation, perhaps with a potential partner in the future, I can't imagine that them looking at it would suspect it was surgically operated on. It looks pretty organic, and at the very least, it looks like my body always looked like that. To conclude, I can now physically do all the sports and activities that I want, can run around, dance, go down water slides, swim, that kind of thing. I experience no pain. Sitting down's pretty comfortable now, even if peeing is still a bit awkward. I got one tip from one commenter to use like a packer. And I'm probably gonna do that just because peeing standing up is the only thing I liked about the old equipment, so I might get that, I think. But holistically, the entire experience didn't fundamentally change my life as much as I thought it would. It's still a positive change, but I'm not gonna act like it made me like cry tears of joy when I woke up and look at it. I don't wanna make that the narrative, I guess, for my own surgery journey. It was good. Nice. Results are good. I got the best surgery I could have possibly asked for. Dr. Chett, the goat, by the way. But yeah, it's just like, I feel okay. That's about it. Other parts of transition, way more impactful. Getting to wear cute clothes, getting to start HRT, changing my name, getting female pronouns. Those feel nice. That's kind of the video. Do you want more bottom surgery videos, or are you sick of this topic? If you're sick of it, that's okay. Don't worry, there'll be more trans topics and other videos. I hope you enjoyed this one though. If you did, be sure to hit the funny like button, comment, subscribe, hit the funny bell. I hope you look forward to more trans affirming content. As always, stay hydrated, and know that you are valid. I'll see you next week.